morning.
Who's first tonight, Tom?
On
The roll call.
The King.
Okay.
You mixing it up, Tom?
Yeah, I mix it up every time.
Somebody new every week.
All right.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I know I'm always last.
You vote though.
No, I suppose as soon as I clean my glasses, we'll start. Jason's the only one not here?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Dankert, would you do the roll call, please?
Mayor Steam.
Present.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Present.
Councilmember King.
Present.
Pashusta.
Present.
Fisher.
Present.
Baskin. Helly.
Laura? Laura, can you hear us?
Present. Yeah, I'm present. Did you get that?
Yep. Waller. Councilmember Waller. I can see you there. Councilmember Waller, can you hear me?
Rebecca?
Present. Yeah, I'm here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Okay, item number one, we need a motion. Item number one, we need a motion for adoption of the agenda. Need a motion
With addition.
So moved.
with the addition. I'm sorry.
Second moved.
Baskin's in now.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Fisher. Baskin.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, Your Honor.
And we can note for the record that Councilman Baskin is here. Item two is a motion approving the minutes from July 16th, 2020 and July 20th, 2020. We need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Baskin. Helly.
Aye.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 300 recognitions and awards. We have a new honorary council member, Dora Martinez. Dora, are you present?
She is.
I am.
Okay, where are you here?
Down lower, next to
Okay, I
Becky.
see you. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been with the Welcome Center almost 11 years. I'm the program manager, I'm an interpreter, and I'm all over the place.
Okay. You looking forward to this?
Yeah, I'm nervous, but I don't know why.
You don't have any reason to be nervous, especially on a Zoom meeting. If you have questions and stuff, just let us know, and we'll try and make it as informal as possible. Welcome. And we have
Thank you.
our outgoing Abala who is present tonight. So you have some big shoes to fill. Actually, some really shiny orange shoes to fill.
Right.
Okay, well, welcome, Dora. Number 4,
Thank
we
you.
need a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Baskin.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 5, under petitions and requests, is a resolution approving the budget adjustment number 4. Mr. Dankert.
As presented in the packet, budget adjustment number 4 will allocate the comp and class implementation for 2020 into the different departmental budgets and take it out of the contingency where we had it set aside as part of the 2020 budget resolution recommendations. In addition to that, near the end of the memo, we're proposing to move some dollars from the sick leave fund risk management to the workers' comp fund risk management to the tune of $600,000. One's overfunded and the other one is going to need a lot more cash, workers' comp in essence, based on current rates and trends. So with that, we'd recommend approval of budget adjustment number 4.
Council, any questions or comments on number 5? If not, we need a resolution.
So move the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 6 is a resolution approving a medical director agreement with Mayo Clinic. Chief?
We were currently between medical director services. We did have a couple highly distinguished Mayo doctors reach out, interested in volunteering. That's led us to this current agreement for them to help provide some of the service on a volunteer basis listed on page 9 of the agreement. They have been over a couple times. They have a distinct interest in our CERT team and some of the training and trauma that can go along with some of those incidents. It's really a win-win for both parties. It's going to help our ability to train our officers and get them the most up-to-date information as soon as possible, which in turn will ultimately benefit the citizens of Austin when we provide medical care. And I would recommend approval of this contract.
I met both of them out at the range last week. They're kind of gung-ho about the whole thing. Their team is certainly glad to have them. Is there any questions on number 6? If not, we need a resolution.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 7 is a resolution approving an asbestos abatement at 509 South Main Street. Mr. Lang.
We recently acquired this property as part of our flood control program, and we took bids for asbestos abatement of the property. Sterling Systems, Inc. was the low bidder at $9,480. We'd recommend awarding the project to Sterling, and this will be funded with a 50% DNR grant and 50% local option sales tax.
Council, do you have any questions or comments on this? If not, we need a resolution for 7.
So move the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 8 is a resolution approving Turtle Creek 2 sanitary sewer easement. Mr. Lang. Mr. Lang.
Yeah, so we have worked with the property owners on 36th Street Northwest and also 37th Street Northwest to acquire the necessary easements for the sanitary sewer project construction. And in order to meet deed requirements, we need to have these properties deed restricted so that we will, indicating that we will maintain these easements into perpetuity so that the infrastructure that's being constructed and the funds that are being put toward it are ensured that we have the authority over that property. So we would recommend council to approve these deed restrictions for these 2 easements associated with 36th and 37th Street Northwest.
Council, do you have any questions on number 8? Questions or comments? If not, we need a resolution.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 9 is a resolution declaring the garage at 2017 Third Avenue Northeast a hazardous structure. You just need they're self-explanatory. Any questions on this? If not, we need a resolution.
So move the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 10 is a resolution declaring the garage at 1109 17th Avenue Northeast hazardous structure. Are there questions? If not, we need a resolution for 10. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 11 is a couple of motions, it looks like, granting the Planning and Zoning Department the power to contract for the removal of junk and/or illegally stored vehicles at the following locations. A, 1921 Oakland Avenue East, the Rubel property. We need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 11B is 1812 Oakland Avenue East, affordable rental property. Stephen, it's got your name here. Does anything we need to elaborate on? No. Okay, yeah, we need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 12 is a resolution approving a request for waiver from real property declaration. That's yours.
Yeah, this one's me. Just like those easements that we just passed, we also need to certify to MMB that we will maintain the public right-of-way where the infrastructure for Turtle Creek 2 is being installed, again, to ensure that the investment is being maintained by the public. So we would recommend and request that the council authorize the mayor and recorder to execute these documents.
Council, any questions or comments? If not, we need a resolution for 12.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
And finally, 13 is a motion authorizing pilot studies at the wastewater treatment plant. Stephen?
As part of the process to evaluate treatment processes and design them for the new plant expansion, we want to pilot a couple different processes to see how they will work with our waste flow that we have. And those two processes are a DAF, a dissolved air flotation, and an SAF, which is a suspended air flotation. They're both very similar, but work a little bit differently in different treatment processes. So we want to do a 2-week trial or pilot of those processes to research them a little bit, see how they work with our waste stream, and develop a recommendation based on what we find from this pilot. We have costs set aside as part of the larger treatment plant expansion project with SEH. This would account for $30,000 worth of that cost that we have set aside, and it would be funded 50-50 with our domestic and industrial plant funding sources.
Council, any questions or comments? If not, we need a motion for 13.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Okay, we're now to the section of the meeting which is citizens that would like to address the council. Mr. Clark told me there's somebody here that wants to talk to the council about housing. Come on up here, give us your name, your address, and your concerns. Right up here at the podium.
My name is Craig Jurgensen. I live at 401 15th Avenue, Northeast, Austin. I've lived there 26 years.
Okay. What can we do for you?
Well, here's the deal.
What can you do for us?
I'm representing that small little community there between Keene Motors and the Hormel plant. I have spoken to nearly every one of them recently. I've delivered, here I'll show you what I've delivered to each household. I have 12 people that have signed this in the neighborhood and another 25 here.
So you have a petition.
What's that?
A petition?
Yeah. My fingers are dry, I can't get them apart.
Take time.
Here.
Okay, thank you.
I talked to Mrs. Pashusta a couple weeks ago, and here's the deal.
You need to be on the mic.
Yeah, we can get these passed out, go ahead.
Okay, I think there's a couple extra, my bad. Just want to make sure everybody can hear you. Yeah. This is a up-to-speed technology to have one for my collar here. At any rate, so I'm actually speaking for those residents. I have quite a number of people outside the neighborhood who are also concerned about the almost $10 million low-income housing project that's going in there in the 400 block of, 300 or 400 block of 15th Avenue Northeast. Considering the fact that we in our little neighborhood, we hear the highway, we hear Hormel, we have semis going through day and night. Add 30 low-income housing at our neighborhood in that beautiful tree berm. Our neighborhood's never going to be the same. And there's a resident to this point that has disagreed with me on this. There has to be some place where 30 units can be built effectively without, like I say, I've lived there 26 years. I put $100,000 in my house in the last, and that's not your problem, that's mine.
No, I
But
understand.
I'm at the age where I'm getting things ready to turn over to my kids, and a housing project like that across the street will make my house probably worth $20,000 to $30,000 less than it is, and notwithstanding the other 30 residents in the neighborhood as well. As I say, I have not spoken to a single resident that's in favor, and I've got 12 people signed a petition, and I've got 200 petitions or copies out throughout the city of Austin at locations, and so far I've gotten I think 25 or 30 of those, and everybody I speak to is 100% against it.
Okay. Can I ask you to make
Absolutely.
an appointment with Mr. Clark, and maybe he can give you a better picture on what's going on down there? I'm
Well,
not
I
so
read
sure.
what you put in the paper. You know,
Right,
and
there's more to it than that, obviously.
one of my biggest gripes with the city of Austin, the last 50 years I lived here, and I've been involved in situations like this. This is the fourth time. And your communication between you and the neighborhoods involved is quite poor. You know, and not everybody gets the Herald. In fact, that particular time, I had, I was working 18-hour days. I didn't get the Herald that week. One of the neighbors came over and says, "Hey, buddy, did you see this?" And I said, "No, I didn't." And that's the copy of from the 17th of June that you have there.
Yeah.
You're gonna, well, as I say, not a person's in favor of it other than the city council at this point. So I guess it will remain to be seen if that little neighbor has any clout or if it's just business as usual. And I hope it's not.
Will you come in and see Mr. Clark?
Beg your pardon?
Will you come in and talk to Mr. Clark? So
Indeed, yeah.
maybe he can put some of your concerns at rest. You know, the property value thing, I'm not so sure that you're correct on that, but I'm not an expert. Maybe Craig could help you better with that. You know, I understand your fears, but I'm not, you know, Mr. Clark.
And you know, and the property values is I'm 72 years old and I'm pretty darn good shape for 72, and I plan on being around a while. I'm not packing a bag anytime soon, at least, but I would like to live in my neighborhood at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And as would a great many of our neighbors. We look out for each other. We watch each other's properties. You know, it's a nice neighborhood, and that tree berm there is just amazing. You know, we have deer, woodchucks, and coon, and every other kind of thing. And several of those even signed a petition.
They don't.
Yeah.
They like it there.
Yeah, they like it there. But at any rate,
Well, you would you make Mr. Jurgensen, please make an appointment with Craig. Why don't you, Craig, if you could.
well,
Yeah.
I don't know what his speaking to me is going to do for the
Well,
other
you
31
said all
residents.
you know is what you've read in the paper.
Well, it's true. And there's another gentleman here who would like to address this issue as well.
And Councilmember Helly has got her hand up. She'd also like to make a comment.
Okay, let's let the other gentleman talk first. Lauren, did you have a comment?
Actually, I have a question. I guess I want to understand what it is about low-income neighbors that is so disturbing. When I look around my neighborhood, I know that some of the homes are occupied by households that would be considered low income. I think probably every neighborhood does have some low-income neighbors, and so I guess I'm not making the connection as to how a low-income housing project is going to disturb this neighborhood.
Well, Miss, thank you for your comment, but I can tell you this. It's not just the fact of the physical aspects of that property, how it's going to change our neighborhood. Nobody's in favor of spending $10 million.
The city is not spending 10 million.
I understand, but it's taxpayer money. You can
No, it's
call
not.
it what you want, but
That's
it's,
why I want you to come in and talk to Mr. Clark, because I don't believe that's the case. Mr. Clark, did you?
Well, just a couple points. Like you said, Mayor, I'd be happy to meet with Mr. Jorgensen and give him a little bit more of the background of the project. Be a $6 million development cost, so you'd be adding $6 million in your neighborhood. I mean, that's generally seen as a good thing for neighborhood. The property also could be a commercial development, so the extent to which you'd have residential there versus a commercial use, you might not like the commercial use better. I think generally it sounds like you prefer the green space over anything, but the development of that area has been challenged for some time. To council members Helly's comments, the Fox Point project that went up by Village Co-op had a lot of concern from the neighbors there. I think that's been built, and I think the neighborhood has generally accepted it well. Income limits for the property, that because it is a tax credit project, they'd be able to afford a home of about 130 to 163,000, depending on the number of bedrooms and the rent that go in there. A lot of the homes in that area, I just pulled up a couple there, 68,000, 78 too. So those folks that are living in that neighborhood you know, depending upon, obviously, you can live in a modest house and have $1 million a year, but they'll be, the people living in the apartment units will be very similar to the folks that are in your neighborhood, as far as income and rents and mortgages and stuff like that. So they're the people that service us at our banks.
I don't think anybody's
Yep.
arguing that point.
Yep.
But $10 million, just under 10 million, is
Yep.
coming from somewhere, and it's
Right.
not,
And
it didn't
and to-
just get printed at Fort
Yep, and
Knox,
that's,
you know, I mean.
that's the tax credit that, Councilmember Austin was mentioning, the
I
funds come
understand.
through
I
from the federal
understand.
government.
I've been through this before
Sure.
on another occasion. But again, from the standpoint of, it's not so much that they're low income or whatnot, but that's a tiny little neighborhood, and you're going to double the occupancy in, I mean, we're practically in each other's front yards and backyards now. You add 30 more residents, their cars, their kids, their, et cetera, et cetera. You could increase our neighborhood by 200 people, plus their vehicles and et cetera. And, Will?
I think if you were on council, you would say, people continually ask us, what's the number one issue in Austin?
I know it's housing, I know.
It's housing, and we know it's housing. We have decrepit housing, we need more housing.
I understand.
And this is you know, this is how we answer that problem. And nobody is, I think a lot of people have the image that they're gonna have issues. I'll bet you in 2 years from now, you'll come back and say, you know what? It's not really as bad as I thought it was.
I got a
gonna be."
$100 bill says I don't.
Yeah, well, I don't have $100, but maybe, but I'm just saying, they come back and say it's not as bad as they thought. It's just, change is hard, and you're looking at some change down there, but we're trying to deal with the issues in Austin too.
I understand. I'm not, I know it's not the only problem in Austin, I get that. But you painted a pretty rosy picture of what happened out at Fox Point. And I know quite a few residents, not only at the village co-op, but people around there that aren't as tickled as you seem to make them be, so.
Well, I don't know who you're talking to, and I don't know the situation, but
I
come
do
on in and
business
talk to
with a lot of
Mr.
people
Clark
out there.
and see if he can alleviate some of your concerns and.
Well,
see what-
you've got about 80, 85 people to alleviate their concerns, so.
Okay, thank you.
Happy to talk to each one.
Chad has something to say as well.
Chad, why don't you come up here and give us your name and your address?
Chad Keen and Keen Motors, 1508 North Main.
Okay.
So the biggest thing, the reason I'm here, I don't know exactly what's going on. So I wanted to get some of that information because this will affect our business financially and physically. We've been renting the property there for 30 years. So I'm here more for education than anything else, find out what's going on. Because I've been talking with Jim, and he's been supposed to be giving me a price on the property before and after this started for a long time. He's never given me a price, but that's here nor there. But I just want to know, because this will put a detriment on our business, which I understand. So I want to just find out what's going on. So I need to know if I have to make changes or what's going to happen, so.
Yeah, why don't you get a hold of Mr. Clark also, and he'll be able to answer most of your questions,
Sure.
Thank you.
You bet.
okay? All right, thank you. Moving forward, reports and recommendations. Tom, why don't you go down our list?
Councilmember King.
I got nothing.
Councilmember Pashusta.
I have nothing either, Your Honor.
Councilmember Fisher.
I have nothing.
Councilmember Baskin.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Councilmember Helly.
Just want to remind everybody that next week is primary voting on Tuesday. You can vote absentee up until Tuesday, and then on Tuesday, all City of Austin residents will vote at the Holiday Inn Conference Center. I'd also like to comment to the neighbors in the Northeast and really anyone in Austin that if you are using low income as a placeholder for saying people who are racially and ethnically different than me. If you are saying, I don't want neighbors who are black or Hispanic, I want you to know that I, as a council member, will not stand for that. Perhaps you do mean low income. Perhaps when you say you don't want low income neighbors, you mean low income. But if you mean something else, you need to know that that's not acceptable.
Thank you, Laura.
Councilmember Waller.
I have nothing.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Mayor Steen.
I have nothing. Greg,
No, thank
any
you.
reports?
I don't believe so. Oh, Ann's got one.
Oh, Ann's got one, okay.
Just to piggyback off Councilmember Helly's comments, the city and the county are going to have some extended absentee voting hours this week. So tomorrow, the office will be open until 7 p.m. On Tuesday, and then on Saturday, the office will be open from 10 to 3.
Thank you, Ann. Well, if there's nothing else, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Baskin.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, Your Honor.
We're gonna take a 5 to 10 minute break and for the TV